Welcome back to the show, everyone. Nice to see our next guest, and she always has some great tips for us as well.
Absolutely. She is travel expert Claire Newell. Claire, how are you?
Claire.
I'm good. I'm fresh off a trip to Toronto, and before that to Mexico, and we've heard a lot about Mexico recently.
Yeah,
now we're going to talk about Mexico and travel safety in general.
Right.
Now, Mexico is a hot topic because, of course, we keep on hearing about all the problems with the drug cartel and maybe a few beheadings. But there's certain... I know.
But it is horrifying because some of these things are happening in places that are very popular, or at least they used to be. Acapulco used to be the hotspot. It's where Elvis
Mazatlan's
went.
having some problems. Acapulco, Cancun, even you're hearing about now.
A little bit in Cancun, but the real problems Acapulco. We have not been selling Acapulco for years. In fact, none of the charters out of the West have been going down to Acapulco. And I always look to the charters because they obviously don't want their clientele down in unsafe locations. Mazatlan has actually been off the radar a little bit. It's been dropping for probably 10, 15 years. It's actually where my husband went with his stag with 15 guys 15 years ago.
We were going to be talking about Mazatlan and Acapulco. I said, isn't that where people used to go in the 80s?
You said that.
And it really is. And now it is not a desirable place to go because it is dangerous. But Mexico in general, there are safe places to go. Sure. And it's all about being logical when you travel. So where is, you just came back from Cabo and you're going back again, which goes to show it is safe.
I'm going to Cabo, but I just came back from Puerto Vallarta.
Okay.
And when I was there, I didn't feel unsafe at any point. Yeah. In fact, I was there with my own kids, my husband. I'm not going to take them to a place that I don't feel safe. But I also, like you say, I wasn't stupid about it. I went and I wanted to go ziplining. I thought it would be fun. And in fact, my parents, who are in their mid-60s.
Did they go ziplining?
My kids, they went ziplining. They were cool. So we all went, but we went with a company that was reputable, that was organized by our hotel concierge. We didn't just go with some random taxi driver who says, $5, I'll take you ziplining. You know, you do need to make
these are simple things, but it's a little bit disturbing how infrequently people actually take the bare bones approach, like the actual logical steps to making sure that they're safe.
It shocks me every time. There's so many things that are so basic that people just kind of forget. And I actually have a little list, and it doesn't matter if you're going to Mexico or you're going somewhere else in the world.
This is just logical travel
advice. These are
advice.
logical things that you should have a mental checklist and make sure you're doing them. And the first is that I always pack light. The more luggage you take, the more trouble it is getting out of there. If some sort of thing happens, we have seen all sorts of things, from hurricanes, volcanic ash, we've seen tsunamis. If I've learned anything, is that travel is unpredictable at the best of times. So prepare for it.
If you get good luggage with wheels that's easy to port around with you.
Handy.
I've seen people at the airport, stuck at the airport, just lugging things and breaking their back. But it's all about getting good quality stuff.
Just tell my favorite story when I was traveling with a friend who wasn't sure whether they would be able to find an appropriate gym facility, so they brought a medicine ball and 10-pound weights with them to make sure that they could work out as well.
Come on, are your friends?
I know.
Come on, people.
So packing light.
That's one thing, but I never travel. I never leave the hotel. I never travel without a fully charged cell phone at all times, and I make sure that it is programmed with the number of the hotel, an emergency number, so the local police, so it's programmed, it's all ready to go, and with some family members. And I also keep the same numbers tucked in my wallet at all times, because just in case my cell phone is out of range.
So pack your charger in your carry-on. Don't have it in your suitcase, because chances are if you're stuck somewhere, you're not going to have your suitcase with you.
It's so true. And I also pack an emergency kit with me. And a lot of people forget this step. It doesn't take a lot, but bandages, cold medication, allergy medication, pair of tweezers, some
polysporin, scissors.
Exactly, the basics. Just pop it into a Ziploc. Hopefully you will never need to use it, but you'll have it. And not if you're, I have kids and they always seem to get a fever at midnight and nothing's open. So you want to make sure it's classic.
And my friends always tease me because I do pack that kind of thing, but they're the ones that always have a sliver or something like, oh, do you have tweezers? Do you have a Band-Aid? Do you have blisters? What do you do?
This is the thing. The other thing you want to do.
I just pour them for my eyebrows.
I know. I know you.
They look great.
Just a little brow chafing.
They look so good. And we'll make sure even when you're on holiday they do. The other thing is scan your documentation. So I'm talking about your itinerary, your passport, travel insurance documents. I photocopy them and scan them to myself when I'm away to a Hotmail or a Google account in case I lose them, so I can access them. Yeah, I deleted afterward just because I.
Yeah.
But
I
you have it with
paranoid.
you just in case. Worst case scenario, you are somewhere like Mexico. You need to leave, and you've lost your passport. Well, guess what? You're not leaving.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I send it to my mom, and I send it to someone at my office, and I send it to my best friend, so that someone knows where I am and can get me those.
That's brilliant.
Do you know your passport number?
Yes.
No.
You do?
Yeah. That Forbes is one of those travelers.
Yeah,
She's
she-
I
like-
can't remember my own name, but any number I can remember.
But that's such a simple step for people to take as well, and so brilliant to have it somewhere where it's not on your person necessarily, but you can access it. If you can find a computer, you can access your documentation.
That's right. So you can access it, but what if you're incapacitated and you can't? So there's a step that a lot of people forget, and maybe you don't even know about it, is registering with the Canadian government. So
I
they
pride
know where you
myself on
are.
being a smart traveler. I don't even know about this. What is it? Why should I do it?
This hurts my heart. I want everyone to know this. It's a step that I do as soon as I book my ticket and I know where I'm staying. I go online to travel.gc.ca. It's such an easy website to remember. It's the federal government's online registration, so they know where you are at any given time. All you're going to need is your passport number, your name, your dates of travel, and where you're staying so that they can contact you. If for some reason there's a natural disaster, you never know what's going to happen, but they're there to help you.
A snowstorm and all the airports shut down.
Yeah,
seen that?
volcanic
Exactly.
ash and you're stranded in Europe somewhere. That's a brilliant idea. Travel.gc.ca.
It's a very easy thing to do.
And what about travel insurance, medical insurance? I mean, people never think that they might just trip and break their ankle, but it happens all the time, and it can be very, very expensive if you're somewhere else.
People always think that they're going to get, hit by a bus. That was never going to happen to me. It's the little things. It's the colds. It's the tripping. It's the being in the waves and accidentally stepping on coral. These are the things we hear about, and we also hear about the bills of $400, $4,000. And what if you do have a heart attack? I won't travel without travel insurance. I've learned through other people's mistakes that I've seen. I've been in the industry almost 20 years, and it's horrifying. By the way, I started when I was 3. I just dated myself.
But you can do things. I know my wife and I, we buy it for the year.
You do.
If we know we're going to be traveling a couple times. You can do that, right?
You can. It's an annual plan, and if you know you're going to be traveling a lot, it's by far the cheapest way to do it.
Yeah.
A lot of people have it on their credit card. You can look at that. I'm not saying over-insure yourself. If you have it through other means, you might have it through extended health through your work. You might have it on your credit card. You might have an annual policy, but you need to make sure. For your annual policy is actually bought by the number of days that you're away. So you might have it for 9 days, going on a 14-day trip. Don't buy a 14-day.
10th day, you step on coral, you are screwed.
You are, so you have to top it up. And it's not that expensive to do, but don't travel without travel
Good to
insurance.
know.
Well, thank you so much, Claire.
Thanks,
you can go to
Fiona.
Travel Bets, the website, Best Bets, not Bets Bets, and check it out. And of course, you can watch Travel Best Bets on Global TV 6 days a week.
Very nice. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Always a pleasure to see you. We're going to take